Hi and welcome to another My Outdoors Tested and Reviewed. So you can see the Calder 500, it's a PowerFlex fiberglass poles, so it's not the air beam, a high water resistance and it has a tension band system. It's a family camping tent. I'm going to take you a bit of a tour around it as I am currently in Drum the Rocket campsite with 2 kids and a dog. So we're using it. We've seen what it actually feels like to live in. From the outside, it's got a really nice canopy actually. It's nice to protect yourself when it rained, as it did last night. But it gives you that protection of when you're going in and out the door. As we make our way around the tent, plenty of guys as you would expect. There is a side door. It doesn't have a midge net built in inside it, but it just gives you another access to the tent. On this side, you can see in there, allow you to pop a cable through for power, of which I don't have here. Beside it, an air vent which just holds itself up with a couple of little velcro stiffened parts, and it just allows the air to move through the tent. Then a nice big window letting light in, and then move round towards the side windows, of which one I've got uncovered. The other one I've still got the cover up, and then we've got the door. We'll make our way in. Now I've got the door open, we can make our way into the tent. It's a fairly simple layout. So you have the main living quarter. I've got my food tubs and things over there. We've got the living pod, which is obviously behind us at the end, and that's the inside of the door that we talked about. Down here, behind my rubbish bag and behind jackets, that's the zipper for the wire to bring the power in. The window shutter is rolled down and fixes at 2 points, as you see here and here. And then obviously we've got the side shutter, which just makes it dark at night, obviously, allowing a bit of privacy. You can see down there there's the vent which I showed you outside. There's also one in the main door. I've kept the side door shut because it just allows me to use that room. We've got the table there, and then dog corner. So I've closed over the midgie net fly screen so that just to keep the flies out, or the midges, as much as possible. You can see we've got a couple of damage down here. That's entirely my fault, or my dog's fault, because he wanted out and this stopped him. Bit of repair on that, no problems with that. This is the tension band system that we talked about. So it just allows you to bring the front of the tent in. It adjusts just as on the normal clip there, and we've also got one on the back here. See those pesky flies that managed to make their way in. This is designed for 5 people, or Vango pitch it at 5 people. We'll go into the living quarters and I'll show you the area that we've got. It can be taken off and made the tent just an outer, so you've not got the pod, but it gives you that other bit of protection, and allows you to separate the muck, as you can see, just from moving in and out the tent, and keeping a clean space in there for sleeping. I've opened up the sleeping area. You can see there's a very light screen that you can use to separate the sleeping area. We've opted to leave the fastening unloosened, so we can just use one door, just allow us to use this space for living and leaving things. Now it will, you can see there's 2 fixing points there. It will allow you to move this screen over, so you get a larger space on one side and a smaller space on the other. What we've done here is just made it straight 50-50, and what happens at night is the dog bed comes in, and he goes in the corner there beside me. I've got a camp bed in there that allows me to just to get some stuff underneath. It allows me a wee bit more space. You can see the girls have got their stuff in here, relatively tidy as well. I would struggle to get 4 people in here. With 4 mats as they stand now, if I had another 2 of these and I put them over here, took the camp bed out, I think that would be it. I don't think I would get any more people in here. Not comfortably. It'd be a bit of a push and a bit of a nudge, but 4 would be my maximum for in here. So I've shut myself in on the bedside, if you like, and you can see it does get a bit duller. I mean, it's bright outside, well, reasonably bright, but it does kind of keep some of the light out. It does get warm in here. There is vents which are midget screened as well, and they open up and roll up into this bit here, and there's one on each side, one on each door. They allow a bit of air through. And at the back there, when you notice at the back there was a bit of a flap, this little vent that's through the other side, this is a mid screen, through the other side, is to allow some air movement through. It does get warm in here. It's warm in here right now, and it's cooler in the kind of living area than it is in the sleeping area. I suppose that's good for night time. So lying down here in the corner, you can see there's plenty of headroom, and I'm not quite 6 foot, and I can stand in the apex of the tent, stand upright, so it's a good size. Down here on the ground, yeah, I don't feel claustrophobic. The kids have certainly found it to be comfortable, and slept pretty well, other than all the noise that was going on by the rest of the campsite. Another thing that Vango sent over was the Vango Nitestar Junior. My daughter, who is 9 years old, fits very comfortably into this. She's tall for her age, and it's kept her warm everywhere, really. We've used this, or she's used it a couple of times. It's been in some smaller tents in colder conditions, and she's been very, very warm. It's a synthetic sleeping bag. This will zip down. $10 tog, used between 4 and 20, 2 and 3 season. Yeah, I'd say that's fair. Obviously it's fairly heavy. I mean, we're not going technical camping with this, wild camping or lightweight camping, but it is a comfort item. The outer is a polyester. The inner has a kind of linen type cotton feel to it, and has been very comfortable. It's got a elasticated hood, so she can get tucked right in there, and she's never had any issues with being cold. When I asked her this morning how her sleep was and how her sleeping bag was, she says it was very comfortable and she was very warm. Had no problems with it at all. Really nice little sleeping bag for kids. She would recommend it, so I need to recommend it. She's been sleeping on the Vango Comfort 10 single, which is a 10cm mat. It's a big old mat. I've slept on it a few times. It's long enough for me to sleep on it, and it is very comfortable. It's foam filled, self-inflating. It's got their Vango valve system on it, which I'll show you now. So it's a fairly simple valve system, but very effective, and a really good idea. So it's obviously got the big cap, big chunky cap, which will press in and hold it all in regardless of which way you've got the valve. But you have this little flip valve, which it's like a non-return valve, so it'll either squeeze the air out and keep it out, or allow the air to draw in and keep it in. Really nice little setup. Works well. Getting the air out of this monster takes a bit of time, but you get the comfort from that air that's in there, so it is worth it. It's bulky. You're not going to, well, I wouldn't carry this on onto a mountain. It is a car camping mat for me, and I wouldn't use it anywhere else really, but very comfortable, nice to have. and you can see from this picture, comes in its bag and is pretty bulky, so one to bear in mind. Worth it though. So that's the Vango Calder 500. Not 5-person in my opinion, but it suits my needs. We've got 3 people in there and a dog, so 4 essentially, because dogs take up quite a lot of room. Putting it up, it says it should be put up by 2 people. I don't have another person who can help me. Unfortunately, the girls aren't quite big enough to be able to do that, so I got this up by myself. It can be done, so don't rule it out if you think that you're going to be the only person that's going to put this up. It is a big bit of tent, obviously, when it's folded down, but I think it's just the right size. When there's 3 of us in there and the dog's there in the living area, then it is can be a wee bit kind of shuffle about, especially when we've got chairs in and things, but more than adequate for room compared to the size of the tent itself and getting it up. On this campsite I've seen some big tents, and that would be great, but I think for the size I need, this has been perfect. It's really useful. Again, the canopy's great, the sleeping quarters are a good size, and it has pretty much everything I need. What would I like it to have? Maybe a little bit of storage space, pockets maybe in the living area, but there are some down the side of the sleeping area where you can stuff things. So the guys go out nicely, and there's different types of pegs for the different areas. So as you would expect from Vango, a really great tent, and I'll enjoy using it in the future. That's been my outdoors tested reviewed. I hope you've enjoyed it, and see you next time. Thanks guys.